Hello, everyone. Welcome to Annette Space. Annette Space is a virtual book club and so much more. And I have the wonderful, beautiful, powerful, impactful, engaging Leatrice Woody on. She's my guest for this month. We will be discussing her book, Not Without Love, 7 Tasks to Check Off. Welcome, Leatrice. Yay. But let me tell the audience something about you. Let me read your bio. Latrice has always has had a passion for business. She holds a bachelor degree, a Bachelor of Arts in with a focus of business and communication. She is certified business coach and owns Blue Heart Coaching. She is passionate about assisting the amazing police officers and the first responders with business and life coaching that adds value in their lives, the lives of their family, and the lives of the people in the community they serve. Latrice also runs the Not Without Love Foundation, whose primary mission is to make the world a safer place for us all. The foundation provides law enforcement officers, first responders, underprivileged children, and young adults with life and business coaching. You will learn skills on how to thrive in community in which you live and work. Young people will learn how to interact respectfully, intelligently with law enforcement and first responders. We will build a much needed bridge of hope for equality and justice for all. Per Leatrice Woody. Again, thank you, my wonderful guest. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad and honored to have you on with me. I'm sorry, I had to duck down to get the book, but thank you again. I got my copy and I read it twice because I read it
You
on
did
the,
it.
yes. So everyone, you can get the book from Amazon. You also more details in the chat for how to reach out to Latrice for different, for coaching, for training in the areas of, what we spoke about just a few minutes ago.
For sure.
So Latrice, got a question for you. What makes you the happiest pre-retirement from the Chicago Police Department, and what makes it the most challenged?
That is an excellent question. I'm simple, So what makes me the most happy is being around people that I love, just people, being around my police friends and family. I miss them so much. And being around the community, helping. I thrive and I'm my happiest when I can, interact with people, show people love. And I'm excited. I love people. I don't know what be going on with everybody else. I love them. I love them even when they have issues. I love them when they don't have issues. It's okay because when I see people, I see God. And
Yes,
so it's not about, oh, this and that. It's about you. God told you to love one another. That's it.
yes,
And
yes,
so I'm
yes,
just going to do what he told me to do and
yes.
love everybody. That's it. So I miss that the most. Being in the community and being around my police friends on a daily basis. And now what makes me, the happiest, of course, is being an author. Oh
Yes.
my God. I've
Yay.
always wanted, to do, to write a book and to do that. But, I never had I said, God, give me the words, give me the message, because you just don't want to write something or do something if it has no purpose. And so I'm like, God, give me purpose, give me something to say that will assist in the climate that we're in today. And so as I watch the news, sitting home, being retired, I see all the crime that's going on, and I feel sorry for the communities in which the crime is being committed on, and I feel extremely sorrowful for the officers who have to go out there and fight a fight, even when people think that they're not fighting a fight, they're not fighting a good fight. And they are. They need all of our love and support to do that job. It's not an easy job to do.
And I know Without Love is an awesome tool for them because you give so many wonderful resources
Mhm.
in your book. And when I read your book, I'm gonna tell you, this is a good book, you all. I
Really? This
mean,
is my first time hearing it from you.
you laugh, and you like, what? It's like an emotional beauty unfolding.
Don't make me
What's
cry.
next? You
Don't
know,
make-
when you the
yeah.
very first chapter, when you talk about Nikki and
Renzo. Renzo.
Rizeno. How you pronounce his name?
Renzo.
Renzo, right, Renzo. And I'm crying. I'm crying. And
That's
then when I think about Alicia, that's her name?
mhm.
And I'm thinking about her, I can feel the emotions of the event, your narrative on each situation, from the start of your book to the end of your book, even with Lil Mama. And it's like you took us there. You took me there. Like I was part of the events, the narrative that you were speaking of, be it helping someone to come out of domestic violence, educating someone on uh, the process. You have done this in this book. I
Wow.
mean,
Thank
you
you so
help
much.
everyone on so many levels, be that a police officer, be that a CEO, be that a teacher, a nurse. You provide resources in this book to really help, because listen, mental health is something that we do not want to uh, let it be the big elephant in the room anymore. So you provided that. So when you talk about love in your book, when we talk about love earlier, I mean, you talk about it, but you walk about it.
For sure. For sure.
You walked about it with Miss Betty, Officer Betty. I was reading that. You're funny, girl. That you are. If you want to laugh, cry, this is the book. You want to get educated, get empowered, this is the book. But when you talk about, God rest her soul,
Mhm.
um, that's serious. I don't know if the people who read this book and will read it, when you read about Miss Betty and how Latrice in her reality of the relationship, how you showed that love, you were demonstrating that love. How, what, what was the, now looking back, how did you, what really, I know you talked about in the book, and we're not going to give it all away because everyone
Right.
else got to read this book, but
Yeah.
how did you step in to show uh, Officer Betty the love that you showed her? I mean, I know it was God, but want to talk about it a little?
For sure. I think that, most people, when they interact with people, I tell people all the time, people will deal with you if you in your right mind and you talking right and you doing right, but people won't put up with you. Meaning
Oh,
if you have any challenges or
mhm,
anything that throw you off course and make you show up differently, right?
mm,
And so people be like, I don't want to fool with that, because everybody feel like their top is full, that they run it over with a lot of stresses in their own lives. So they're running for the border when you're talking about staying the course with somebody else who's going through something. And I like challenges. I like when people are not friendly. I mean, it's crazy to say, because I say, I'm going to show them what God is. You know what I'm saying? They're about to meet their maker in a good way. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right, right.
And I'm going to go the course with them, because when I see people that are mean or angry or difficult, I see people who need a lot of love. I see people who are hurting. And so instead of me running, for the border, I'm running towards you. Just like, they tell you, and when we out in the street, when the fire department comes, when it's a fire, they running in, and we police officers running out, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And so I'm gonna run in, even though it's hot in there. It's
mhm,
it's it's painful in there,
mhm,
because I think God give me the strength. If He allowed me to go through what I went through in chapter 1, and in so many other stories in my life where He allowed me to make it through, and come out shining, where somebody else thought they were going to destroy you, you came out on top still. And so Miss Betty was a testament to, I knew she needed love, and I wanted to give it to her. I wanted to fight for her. I wanted her to know that everybody is not the same, and people do see your pain, and we are here if you need us to help. I'm here.
mhm,
And
mhm.
so I fought for her. And
Yeah.
sometimes we have to fight for people. And I
Yeah.
think nowadays they be like, I don't want to be bothered. I'm gonna fight for you. When
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fight for every last person that I see that they need this love, and they need to see God's presence, or his, I ain't forgot about you. So I'm gonna say something nice to you. I'm gonna come to work. I'm gonna bring you something. I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna make sure I'm letting you know I see you and God sees you, and how best can I serve you?
Yes, yes. And I saw that I felt that. I saw that as I was reading the chapter. I even saw her throwing the pencils or whatever she had at you. And I'm like, wow. And you can feel the intensity of your writing and how you were, your narrative about it. And I want to commend you on that because you brought me there to
Yeah.
just, and just to see Miss Betty and your interaction every day, keeping in her office and that is real love, and you show that, and you leveled me up, you reminded me of, listen, love is he said, without love, you can prophesy, you can heal, you can do all these things, but without love,
You can't do nothing.
you
Not
can't do
successfully.
nothing,
You can't do nothing. God said the first commandment is to love one another.
as I
That's
have,
you don't owe no man nothing but to love.
but to
You know
love
what I'm
them.
saying? And so
Yes,
every day you can't begin to pay me off. You know what I'm saying? For the love that I have for you. I'm gonna keep going every day. Even when
yeah,
you come to work early, ugly, you brought your home life to your work. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm gonna be there because I know you crying out. But
you
I'm
do.
gonna tell you, I'm saying, now, hey sis, now I love you now. What
Because
can I do to make things a little better for you? But you don't want people to see you in that light. You want what's inside of you to shine on the outside.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
And
And you
so
brought, I like how you brought that out, that you brought a smile out of her.
finally, it took a while, honey. It took a while,
But
but I was determined.
and you brought it out.
Yeah, I was
And
so
that's
happy.
listen, that's like that's my daughter. She has my characteristics. That she's made in my image. You see, and I appreciate that. And so in the book, you give a lot of details about like Lil Mama. That's another action, love in action. Um, and then you give the resources, back to the resources. And I'm telling the audience, back to the resources. Listen, there's so many resources on the finance, on mental health, on homelessness
Yes.
that Latrice have provided in her book. But the book itself is a bestseller.
Ooh, yes, it is. You see that, don't you? We got it in 4 different categories.
Yes, yes,
Leadership. We got it
yes.
in leadership, Christianity, law, and
Ah,
criminal law. Yes, that's what we put the badges on the bottom of the book, because at first we didn't have those badges here, and
ah,
now we
now
do.
you do.
Yeah, for
Look at
sure.
that. Oh, congratulations. Look, you all go out and get the book. Again, you can
Thank
get it
you
on
so.
Amazon. Latrice, can they also get it on your website?
But if you go to latricewoody.com,
Okay,
we should.
latricewoody.com. You all can also get her book, Not Without Love, 7 Tasks to Check Off. I'm telling you, this is an investment. She gave us more than what it costs.
Yeah,
She gave us, the cost to the book and what she gave us is untouchable because the resources, the encouragement, the life stories, the events, the education is
sure.
off the chain. It
I
is,
if
you level us up, you really did.
if I could, go back, some of the things in the book would have been some of the things I wish somebody had informed me of. And so I was like, okay, like in chapter, 3, snitches don't get stitches, they get pensions. So I'm trying to tell you how to leverage the job for success, because as a rookie, or, a newcomer, a recruit, I didn't have somebody to pull me to the side and say, hey, kid, this job can really, do wonders for you in your later years of retirement. You can finish this job rich if you wanted to, but you got to do this and this. You got to begin with the end in mind.
Yeah,
And that is so powerful to me, beginning with the end in mind. Where do you want to end up at? How does that look for you? And then you work backwards.
yeah,
Okay, if it looks like I need 15,000 a month, to retire. Okay, what am I going to do right now to make sure I'm putting my eggs in that basket so that when that time comes, I got that number that I'm looking for. So I'm really excited about that chapter alone, for officers, in any state. You just need to find out, in your state, what that looks like for you. But in Chicago, CHACTA, if you do those, part-time work with those companies, you can get Social Security, because we get pensions as police officers. So it's nice to know that you can get a little bit of both. You can have a little bit of both in retirement, because how many people know that every dime counts when you retire? Every dime counts, honey.
Yes,
150 to 200, you be like, woo, that adds to my bottom line per month. So uh that's amazing,
it is amazing. And one of the things I thought about too is I wish someone would have told me as well, where I had to go in and do that research. But listen, one thing I think we take for granted is 20 years is a blink of an eye.
Going like this, honey. It goes so
Yes.
fast. You be like, wait a minute. And so that's why I'm telling people. I know these new millenniums, and they jump around from job to job. Back in the days, when we, working our jobs, it's about retirement, it's about benefits, it's about, having a pension, or, or whatever, 401k when we retire. So all that jumping around to different jobs, stay somewhere, get somewhere where you love, where, you can plant yourself there and knock your 20 years out, and just, be happy. I mean, I'm telling people, you can retire rich. If police officer, that's in any job though, if you do it right, you
Exactly.
invest,
If you do it
save.
right.
If you do it right, you get with the right financial planner, you make the right investments, you try to save as much as you can, but enjoy life too, because who all knows, some people don't make it to retirement, right? So your retirement should be right now, meaning I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna play hard. When it's time to take vacation, I'm gonna enjoy myself. Or if
Exactly.
I need to take a weekend away to get me mentally back together,
Mhm.
let me take that, weekend away, so I can come back refreshed and renewed, so I can do it again. I'm not telling you it's easy to do love, to be loving, to be kind, because some people may not deserve love and kindness. But then, do we deserve love and kindness? The word said, "He was short of sin, let him cast the first stone." And so we all got some areas in our life that we can, make
Mhm.
better, that we can work on to improve ourselves. But I'm saying, don't take it personal. Know that people are going through things. Give them a love pass. Can
Mhm.
we give them a love pass? I know
Yeah.
people are like, I gave too many love passes. Well, God keep giving you
That
love passes. so keep passing the love on, is what I'm saying.
exactly. Because you never know when you need to pull that card and say, I did show. So a man sow, he shall reap. So you never know when you might have to pull that love card for yourself. One of the things you're talking about, I like what you snitches get stitches. With your grandmom and your uncle. You had me laughing. But you had me laughing. And I know the streets is a different ball game. Home is a different ball game. But I think Chicago, when you're on the L, they have this recording. If you see something, say
Say
something.
something. That's right.
And I think that's important to the
Crucial.
lives of the people who are in on both sides. See something, say something.
See something, say
Uh,
something.
so that was I love that chapter. We're not giving all the chapters away.
Right, right, right.
So
Don't take
let's
that.
talk about, and I talk about you being a coach as well, a life coach. Uh, can you talk about that?
You know, the interesting thing is how all that came about when I was retired. I'm like, okay, I was supposed to move out the country. I didn't move out the country. And so I stay here. And so now I'm like, okay, now what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go get a little part-time job, or, am I gonna just focus on my business and getting that to where it needs to be? And then I was like, well, my business, I needed to really get to another level, now that I got the time to dedicate to it. And what does that look like? And then I just happened to run across a coaching program with EverCoach, and that's a subsidiary of Mind Valley. Mind Valley is this amazing educational platform. Whatever you want to know, and to improve your own life, you can go on that site, on that app, and you can find some amazing instructors from all across the globe, from all different walks of life. From, you want to learn about how to get your mind right, you want to know how to meditate better, you want to know how to keep your health in check, you want to know how to go to the next level in business. It's somebody on that platform that has excelled exceedingly in those
Mm.
fields, and then they got them on the platform as the instructors. And so I saw that advertisement for that, and I was like, wow, coaching, a business coaching class. I'm like, maybe that's what I need. So, it wasn't an inexpensive class. It was like $5,000 or more, right? I was like, woo! I said, this got to be a really good class, though. This really. So I went into the class, and then next thing you know, I met some amazing people, and that class changed my life just by the questions that they ask you. Coaching is nothing other than me pulling out of you what's in you that needs to come out in order for you to maximize on it. And I think we look for everything outside of us for success, for this and for that. You're never going to get it unless you go inward first, because this is where God is. You know what I'm saying? He'll
Yes.
lead and guide you where you're supposed to be, but nobody trusts in that process. Everybody trying to do it themselves. Everybody moving and shaking, being all busy and stuff. And when you get through and you sit down and you start asking yourself these profound questions, which is what we do in coaching. So in that coaching class, they said, if you had all the money and time in the world, what would you do? Who would be around you? What would you contribute to the world? And those questions just lit me up like a light bulb. I was like, oh my God, what would I do? I would start a coaching class for a coaching company so that officers can get coaching so it can help change their lives, because they're
Wow.
dealing with so much in these streets. And if we can just give them the help that they need to do that job, we will we will stop a shortage of officers, leaving the job, quitting, going to other departments. Once they get trained as CPD and they
Yes.
get our good training, they move to Arizona or they move to Texas or they move to the suburbs, because Chicago is a little rough, right? And
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? And so that's the whole thing. I was like, if we can get them coaching to help them go through this, then we have some officers that's in tune with this community. They can deal with what you throwing at them. They can balance their home life and their work life. And then I said, and then if I had all the money in the world, I would turn off my phone, honey, and I would ask God to give me something to say so I can write a book. And then, so next thing you know, I cut my phone off. I said, God, please give me something to say, because I want to contribute. I want to help. And so next thing you know, he gave me these profound stories.
Yes.
It didn't have to be because if I kept going with the story, the book would be super thick. Okay. I had to narrow it down to
Wow.
what's the most profound and life-changing stories that shaped me and that helped others. And then I didn't want to tell about the first chapter and what happened. I
Mhm.
held that in a lock and chambers with a key with double locks, and I
Mhm.
never really even wanted to remember it. But God allowed me to pour it out, whole chapter, that story out for chapter one. And I cried each time. And I had to do an audio of it so that people could get a little taste of the book. And so you can get that at latricewoody.com. You can hear chapter one. And I cried about 20 takes. I cried, I cried, I cried. That was the hardest chapter to do for me,
I
because it was just hard.
listen, I'm not the writer. I wasn't there. I'm crying. I was crying. I'm like, oh my God, this is heartbreaking. And for you to have to go through it and then write about it, uh, was that also healing for you? Did that
Yeah.
did it unlock the healing that was necessary to complete it?
It really did. It did. It really did. And it showed me that God just showed up and showed out. Like I told you in the chapter, you thinking, oh, pity me. What about, oh, Lord, why me? Messed up this, messed up my good name, messed up my business.
Mm.
And then when you get out of that superficial, thoughts of self and, it's about me. And then you really see the full picture, that it was so many other lives impacted by that story. And what that situation, and we all still here to live to to do better the next day and to
Mhm.
try, so it was like, wow,
Yeah.
get yourself together, girl. You
But you
made it
showed
through.
us the human side of it, you know? You showed us, how to be angry, how to be upset, disappointed, and then bounce back. So you showed us your resilience in this book. You really did, because that's a bounce back. And the coaching. Congratulations, because you're looking back now and you're a coach and you written your book and et cetera, et cetera. You're moving forward. That's impactful to start off in such a way that was so devastating, the
Yes,
first chapter, and then to not only not even though that was years ago, but to see you now, and how youthful you look
praise
and
God.
how strong you look. And I know you're still human and you still, have your own issues. We all do. But you showing us how to get through it, showing us, I mean, in this book, and even now as I look at you, look like a little baby. We got a little history together, you all. We
Yeah.
went to the same high school and grammar school, is that correct?
Yes, we
And,
hit. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
your sister, Angie was in my grade, so we have a little history. So, hey, Collins High School and
College
Columbus High
Cobras in the
School.
house.
Yes, yes, this, you have two authors here,
Yep, yep.
and
Congratulations to you, my sister, because I went to your book signing. It was amazing. I'm so proud of you. Like you said, just to get out what God got in you and to share it with the world is a total blessing. It's like, hey, I
it
got
was,
you. You can't do this
yes,
without the love. You can't, you got to open up and share.
thank you.
Sharing is caring. you
Sharon,
know,
yeah, and we have to share it. And I just want to say, to our copers and charmers, elementary, there's great things on the west side of Chicago that
yep,
can't.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you went all the way back. Yep, John.
exactly. I want to talk one more. Anything in the book that was really, really hard? I know the first chapter was very hard. Was that the most, or the most, or the hardest thing to put in the book? Did you think about, this is hard. I'm not ready for this. Even though, did you go through any turmoil when you were putting each event in your book?
For sure, for sure. I was like you said, to write a book is to be vulnerable and to let people into your personal life. And some things you thought you were going to take to the grave with you. And then you say, you know what, Father, I'm ready to share it if it's your will and it's going to help out, okay, I'm going to put me on the line. You know what I'm saying? God said, can I find anyone to stand in the gap? I'm going to stand in the gap. I'm going to put my life on display, I'm gonna let you see how it feels to go on this roller coaster ride and to not give up, and to just keep going on because yeah, it didn't say once you enter into the body of Christ that you were not gonna go in, go through anything. You are gonna go through a lot. Jesus went through it, we going through it, you're gonna go through it, right? And so main thing is to get through it though. So in one of the chapters, the loss of a child, that was difficult. Thinking about that whole process again, seeing that in my head as if it was happening now, that was traumatic. It was sad, and it was like, wow, look, Mama, you've been through some things. Um, then another chapter when people are hollering at you, calling you out your name, when I have led a life of service and love for people, period. And so to get the lashing, the disrespect from my own people. You know what I'm saying? It was really disheartening to see because I'm like, hey, bro, don't let the uniform fool you. I'm still your sister under here. I'm still, what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do that. But so that's sad for me because I love people, period. And to see us do the things that we do to one another, it breaks my heart. And when I go on calls, when I was going on calls, I feel the piercing pain of those calls that I go on. Whether if it's somebody passed away, somebody got killed, somebody got beat up, it pierced me, and I have to gather myself. I feel it, the pain and it makes me sad. But then I say, you know what, Father, to God be the glory. You got me out here to show love, to give strength, to tell people that Jesus still works. You know what I'm saying? God is still on the throne. And so I have to spread that message, even though every other day I kid you not, when I'm working 1532, it seemed like I've always gotten a call of a DOA. Somebody's always, you know, going on to be with the Lord, right? And so I'm left to console the families, and I try to come up with scriptures that I think will comfort them, and so yeah, it's a deep
It's,
roller coaster ride for police officers. And if
mm,
you don't have your relationship with God intact, you're not going to be able to do that job successfully. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
yeah,
And I try to tell people, for the end of the thing is better than the beginning.
yeah,
God said it's better to be in a house of mourning than to be in a house of feasting and celebration, right?
yes, yes,
Because in the house of mourning, you thinking about, I gotta get my life together. When you
yes,
see that person in that casket, you saying to yourself, "Oh my God, I got one more chance to get this
yes, yes,
thing right.
yes,
Let me do right."
yes.
And so that's why he said, when you partying, you just partying. You ain't thinking about nothing. What? You think about nothing.
Nothing.
But when you at this other kind of situation, you at the funeral service, you at the repast, you at the cemetery, you say, to God be the glory. Thank you for giving me
Yeah,
another
another day.
chance to make a better impression and to do better,
Yeah,
and so that's
yeah. And,
it's
and the one of the things, and when you talk about the death of the baby or the death in your book, it's I don't know how you did it, but you did it. You brought the humor side. You cry, and then right away you bring in this haircut is by design. With the young man who was
don't
talking
let the
about your
dude hit.
short haircut. Wait a minute, this is by design. And you bring us into the laughter. So I really love the way you lay the book out that way, because you don't keep us in the sadness, the dark part, meaning, the abuse of a situation, but you bring us into the laughter part. You bring us to smile, and just so I really appreciated that about the book and you, and bringing it, because it takes skill, talents, and anointing to do that,
Wow.
to bring, to bring that humor into a place where it was all sadness. How can you get like, wow, I was thinking like, wow, with all of this sadness, she slipped in light of laughter. And it was
You
like
got
medicine. So you like, and times you got to put it down, like, because you're crying and you're like, okay. And it's beautiful because we're human.
we are.
Right. And so that's how life is. It's going to be that laughter, that crying, that anger, and you bring it in, and it's just in one day, like Chicago, you have 4 seasons in one day. You showed us that in the book, you can have these different seasons of life in one moment, or a moment of times in the book.
It comes with the territory. I tell people, if you don't wanna go through anything, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be here, because you're gonna go through some things. But I'm telling you, I promise you that you can get through those things
Yeah.
with God, with yourself, with coaching, with family. You don't give up. And so that's what I'm hoping with the book. It brings hope. It's like, hey, you know what? If you ain't feeling your best, let's go get a coach. Coach up. Let's get a coach.
Oh, I like
Because
that.
coach
Coach
is going
up.
to coach up. Because coach gonna pull you through these dark times to bring you into the light and let you know that the glass is not all the way empty. It is totally full. It is runneth over.
Yes.
Runneth over.
Yes.
Life is meant to be enjoyed. I tell people, the most valuable place in the entire world is the cemetery. You got so many hidden gems and talents and things that never came about. And
Yeah.
so I say to you, be grateful for whatever time you have. I
Yeah.
tell people, I say, hey, what if you would have died at birth? We wouldn't know what color you like, if you're gonna have kids, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't know your
Yes.
personality.
Yes.
We wouldn't know, what I'm saying, if you whatever, if you got married a couple times, one time, you stayed all your life, you never got married, but wanted to get married, whatever it was. They don't get a second chance in
No,
the cemetery. They don't get a second
don't
chance to go and do something different, or say, you know what? I know something bad happened to me, but they're not going to take my life from me. This is my life. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? And
Yes.
I'm taking the power back.
Yes.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm taking it back.
you only get one. And you said something so powerful. I mean, everything you just said was so powerful. And let me make up one, listen, you all, we're listening to Latrice Woody, this beautiful vessel of God, just written this book like a walk in the park, not without love, 7 tasks to complete. Hey, go get the book. It's on Amazon. Purchase it. Hey, reach out. She have all the questions in the book, and even how to reach back out to you if you have any questions. So please go and support and get your copy. Maybe we can come back on and have more people on, and they can ask questions. But one of the things you did in this book that also is so exciting is I'm gonna talk about Lil Mama again, how
Oh,
you show that love for her, uh, the domestic violence portion of it, how
mhm,
you identified with her. You know, a lot of times we walk into different place, I mean, the same place every day,
mhm.
and a lot of times people do not, it's all relational. I mean, it's all transactional and it's not
Yeah.
relational.
Yeah.
You made that relational, and we're not going to give all the details because we want you to go get your book, but you made that relational. How hard or easy for you was for you making things like trying to make the balance there, relational or transactional. Transactional meaning just you're doing your service. Uh, Relational part is I'm talking about you brought your God abilities to discern. I need to go a little step further here. Yes, I'm on duty, or I will have to go on duty, or I have to do my own business. How, because that's 21 years on
Mhm.
the force. How challenged was you with that?
Well,
What
since
if you were?
I grew up, of course we grew up I grew up in the projects, and you saw a lot of domestic violence. I mean, I be honest with you, I didn't know of a relationship that was good, other than on TV, the Huxtables or Little House on the Prairie or the Brady Bunch, those,
Mhm.
families on those TV shows kind of, shaped the person I wanted to be, even though that wasn't the reality I was living in. And I had my aunts getting beaten up by their boyfriends. And I remember, my auntie came home with a black eye, and, and I said, Auntie, who did that to you? Who did that to you? We
Mhm.
gonna go beat him up. And then she said, but Mike did that to me. I said, Mike who? I'm 11 years old,
So
right?
you ready to
Mike
go?
who? Not Mike, your boyfriend. And she said, yeah, he did. That's okay. I said, man, TT, I said, my I would never let nobody put their hands on me. He should have just brought you some flowers because that's less painful.
Wow. At 11.
At 11. And so I saw that. And so I have no tolerance for that. My philosophy is if we can't get along, we're going to get gone. I
Ah,
don't, you don't
can't
want
get
this smoke,
along.
but I don't want that smoke. How about that?
How
So if
about
you
that?
don't want me, I don't want you two times. Two times. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? I don't want
yes,
you two times if you don't want me. Because
ex
I know I'm a good person. I'm a lover. You be good to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be your biggest
yes,
cheerleader, your
yes,
greatest supporter. If you don't want me, leave me alone. Because I enjoy
exactly.
my own company.
Yes,
I
yes.
have a good time with me, honey. You see that there? I have a good time. I put
So
on me some
listen,
music. I'm stepping in the house. I'm eating me some good food. I'm sleeping on me some good thread count sheets. Clean my environment. Put me some Mozart on sometimes. Listen to me some classical music, and I'll be walking around the house.
so ain't
I,
no like no one coming in and disturbing the peace.
I don't play it. I don't. That home life is real sacred for me. And so if I'm sharing my space with you, you so worth it.
Yes,
'Cause,
yes,
I got to be, calm, cool, collective, and at peace when I'm in here. Because when I go out there, I gotta go to the war zone. I got to
right.
go. I got to suit up for for war. And so you got to have a break in that. So I
Yeah.
tell people now, if your home life is not what you want it to be, and you need somebody to talk to, call us, blueheartcoaching.com. We can walk you through it. We can help pull you through, the sadness and bring you to joy, because you just got to know that people got issues.
Yes.
And if you love a person, you got to love all those issues that they got. That's real love.
And that's reality. That's that reality. What thank you for explaining that. I really appreciate you coming on in that space, sharing not without love, and 7 tasks to complete. That's what I really love too. I like the fact that you lay out these 7 tasks.
7 tasks to check off, baby. And I
Yes.
gave you the reference of that because as police officers, we check off. Check off is everything to us because that meant we made it safely. You know what I'm saying? Throughout
Yes.
our day, all our jobs we went on, and we don't have no bullet holes. We don't have no stab marks. We made it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We made it to go check off. I did this today. I wrote a couple of Parkers. I made contact with, senior. I checked on the businesses in the area. This is my check off for the day. Okay. And so when you're able to check off, handing your radio, turning your keys, put your vest in the locker. I made it.
To hear you explain that is really a prophetic process, because I made it. And in life, you think about your day to day, just think about the person who are being abused every day, a person who's going through mental challenges with family members or even with themselves, and then to sit back and check off. I mean, you really give us a blueprint of how to do it. And then you give us the events of the narrative stories that you gave, the narrative of the events that you had in your book. It really lines with life and helps bring that wellness in the homes of people. You really provided that in your book. I know I keep saying that, but I appreciate it.
I thank you, sis. And my thing is, I just wanted to show people that our officers are human. And it's this. I'm showing you a side of us that they don't want to glorify on the news or they don't want to tell you about. I spend my money to get people back on plane tickets, train tickets. You know what I'm saying? Because our hearts go out, and we
Yeah.
want to get you back to your safety and to your loved ones. Yeah, you messed up. You came out here with this guy, with that girl, and they tricked you. Okay, we got you. We're gonna send you on back home, but that's out of our own pockets.
Right.
And so that's out of our own monies. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we not bad people. People need to stop saying it's a us against them. We are a product of our environment. We love our communities just like the citizens love the communities.
Yeah.
We need you to come back and help us and be with us because it's not us against them. The bad actors, which are the bad guys, they want you to think that you're in the same boat with them, and you're not. Because a good citizen love to see the police roll down her block or his block, but a bad actor, a bad person, does not. Why? Because they want to commit more crimes.
Right.
So it's like, hey, y'all.
And you make that wonderful point that we have to, and it's
All our
not.
jobs.
We have to, as communities, it have to be a family community, inclusive.
Remember
The
how we was
police.
in the project? Or y'all don't know if you.
Yeah, no, I remember
We're
right there.
we're right, and we family. It's like it takes a village. It takes all of us. And I
Yes,
tell people, you keep pointing this finger, but 4 of them pointing back at you.
yes,
4. What can I do? How can I, make this community better? If I see something on the ground, or if I see somebody doing something, instead of recording, let me call the police. Let me let somebody know. Let me tell my neighbor, hey girl, your package on the porch. Go on get it, because you don't want little Ray
yeah,
running off with what you got in that package.
exactly. It's working together.
It's working together. That's the only way we gonna really do this. It's not one person. It's their fault. What about the parents? You know where your kids are. We don't want to have real discussion. Everybody want to do this. Throw a rock and hide your hand, and then everybody want to look at what the rock did to damage, but we don't want to go to the source of where the rock came from.
And we must go to the source.
We don't care about where the rock, we only care about where the rock landed. We don't care about who threw the rock.
Right.
But if we address the person that threw the rock, maybe we can stop the rocks from being thrown. If
Exactly.
we address the real culprits, the real challenges, which is our men and women on these streets not doing right. And I love them and I want them to do right.
Right.
And how can we help them get to a right place versus encouraging them and egging them on to stay in the wrong place? We
Right.
got too many programs out here that they can be a part of. Too many
Yes.
jobs that they can get. I mean, training that you can get. You don't have to be doing the stuff that you're doing. That's real talk. You don't have to do it.
You can
You
make
know,
that change.
you can make that change.
You can make that change.
Because if you
And
keep,
it's a choice. It's a
it's a
choice.
choice. Because if you keep tearing down, where are older people gonna get their medicine from? If all the stores, you keep going in there taking whatever you want out the store, you next thing you know, the store's gonna be like, hey, this is not profitable. They business people. If
Right.
I had a store and you keep stealing all my stuff,
I gotta
I'm
move.
closing down, going somewhere where they don't steal. You know what I'm saying? Now, where did that leave our people? The people, the elderly. I'm talking about all people, the
Yeah.
elderly. They need to get their medicine. They need to go to the grocery store. Or young people, where are we gonna go get groceries from? What if you don't have a car? But then you keep messing up the grocery stores in our neighborhood. Then they out. Now you got to catch a Lyft or Uber.
And
A
when I
family member got to take you to the grocery store.
right. It's
So
real talk because it has to be an end.
yeah,
But before it can be an end, it's the reality of it. We don't need another killing. We don't need another person going to jail. We don't need another person overdosing. We don't need another person being abused. There has to be an end.
it
That's
has to.
only, but it's a choice to make.
Yeah, because
We know it can happen. We know it can be the change to take place. And we,
all I'm saying is this: if somebody pull you over, just say a police officer pull you over. Okay, we all know you know who they are. They don't know who you are. So if
Mhm.
I'm pulling you over, you know how many times I pull somebody over and they curse me out so much, you need to be doing this, this murder's going on, and this and that, and that. I'm like, hey, sis, I just wanted to tell you that your tail light was out. I don't mean no harm. I just don't want nobody running into the back of you and hurting you. Okay. Have a great
Yeah,
day.
have a
You see
good,
what I'm saying? But why
yeah,
we got to do all of that? And most people ain't going that route.
yeah.
Oh, you want to call me? You want to talk this crazy talk? Let me see the driver's license and insurance.
See, we open
So
it up for ourselves when we
we
get,
do this mouth, this
yeah,
all that lip boxing, all that this being disrespectful. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see how you feel about it.
they're talking too much, yes. But you talk about that in the book too. I like how you given instructions, you given resources, and that's the most important thing. The resources is there.
For sure.
And if we know that the regular the normal guy on the street may not pick up the book, but his sister or brother might pick up the book, right? Or a cousin will pick up the book, and the resources there. And that's what you did. You provided the resources, and hopefully that will change maybe one or two families that can go change another family, another family. So you provided that in that book. I won't say, maybe the man on the street will pick up the book, but I know his sister, brother, cousin, friend will. And so you again provided a pathway. And
I,
I salute you for that, Queen. You did that.
oh, thank
You
you so
did this,
much.
and you
Thank
did this book. You did this book.
I
You
am so
did
glad
this
you
book.
enjoyed it. Oh, I'm so
I did. Any thoughts you want to leave with us before we end? I do want to say to everyone, though, you can get Latrice Woody book, Not Without Love, 7 tasks to check off on Amazon, uh, latricewoody.com. You can go to her website, get more information also about the coaching. She has that for you. Hey, we got this is a mighty vessel that has a lot of resources within herself. I want to say that you always have kept that same spirit of love. I have to say this because one may say, well, she ain't always that happy. Yes, she is always
pretty
this
much.
happy. It hasn't been, I may not have seen you always, but whenever we bump up and come into the same circles, you have the same beautiful smiles, the same spirit. And I want to commend you for that because that's God. And
That's
thank you
all
for
God.
showing
That's
us who
right.
you are.
I can't take no credit for it because I'm telling you, sometimes I'll be like, I'm sick of them too. Why they treat me like this? And then I get whooped with the spirit. God, okay, I love them. I just don't know why they acted like that. I forgive them. I forgive them. I get whooped right away. So, to not know, before closing, I just want to say, for one, parts proceed, some of the money from the book goes to the Not Without Love Foundation. And that's what we can, if we build this pot up and get some funds in there, we can, do some coaching, for officers and first responders. We can do some love activities for community members, just, teaching them how to interact with each other, through some love activities, some giveaways. So that's the reason why I wrote the book. I said, well, at least that helped with putting money into the foundation. And so that's one thing. But the other thing is this: I just want people to know that we all got some challenges. I wish they forgive each other, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't take it personal. Um, you got to forgive. And I think that forgiveness is a big thing because people don't forgive. What you did to me, I'm going to do to you 2 times. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. God said, I bless those who bless you, and I curse those who curse you. So you can't whoop nobody worse than God can whoop them. So
Mhm.
leave it alone, let it go,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And with the coaching, would love for people to reach out if they feel as though, with Blue Heart Coaching, that's the for-profit coaching, meaning, you got a little money, we can go ahead and get that going for you, until we build the money up in the foundation, because we, just got it
Mhm.
recently. And so we're still, trying to get the resources in there to help out.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
that coaching would be great for them. We can help them on their journey and pull out of them what's in them and hold them accountable to doing the action steps to making a change. Like Michael Jackson said, make that change. You got to look in the man in the mirror and make that change, you know. So I'm excited about that. But I thank you for having me on, Queen. You are amazing. You're beautiful. You're not aging around here. I don't know what you eating at the house, but you need to put a little note up, some menus and some recipes, so we all can get with that program because you look amazing.
Bless
And
you. Thank you.
I'm grateful to be on the show. I'm so proud of what you're doing, and I love you so much.
Back at you. Love you too. Again, thank you for coming on. You all next week, next month, well, not next week. I got another interview going on next week. I'll give more details later, but I'm so thankful again to you as well for being on in that space. Whenever you want to come back and talk about the foundation, talk about the coaching, please let me know. We can always come back and talk with the people. Love you
I would
guys.
love.
Thank you for
Don't
joining
forget
us.
the book. Don't
Don't
tell them go to
forget.
Amazon.com now. Get this here book now, child. Okay, tell them to get it. It's a good one. We put the love in there. We put a lot of colorful pages in there, honey. So make you feel
Yes.
the
Oh
love.
yeah, there is plenty of love in here. I'm no doubt when they get this book and begin to read it, they won't be. They have to put it. I mean, I had to put it down because you got to go get your tissue because you
Right.
wasn't expecting it. I'm like, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting that, but you get it, and then you get some laughter, and you get educated, and you get encouraged, and you get resources. So you did that. I just want to say that again. Again, thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Love you.
Love you.